Hi guys, this is GSMDome and I'm here with the unboxing of the Xiaomi 14T Pro. It's the second year in a row where they're using Leica technology on their fall flagship. So we're getting a new and powerful processor inside, the MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus, and also Leica optics on not one but multiple lenses here. We don't have a price tag yet, but I expect it to be below 1000 euros, maybe 800 euros. It has AI features, which is a first for Xiaomi, but at the moment I'm filming this, the AI features aren't available yet. They'll be available with a software update on September 26. I'm talking about features like AI notes, AI recording, AI film, AI subtitles, and also AI image edit. So yeah, there's that. There's 4 cameras at the backside, including a new one. It's a special Light Fusion 900 camera sensor, and with the promise of a lot of cool features. Very fast charging, lots of RAM, lots of storage, 1 terabyte for this handset here. It's an unboxing, so let's see what's inside the box, although we don't have a very large quantity of items in the box this year. As you can see, there's no charger, so you can probably use an older 120 watt Xiaomi charger. Here we have the key used to access the nano SIM card slots. And also in the box there's a case that looks like this. Pretty flexible and sturdy. Also a bunch of manuals, quick start guide and warranty card, safety information, and a cable that goes from USB-C to USB-A. Curiously, not USB-C to C, so you're definitely required to have USB-A on one end of your charger. Okay, so with everything said and done, I dug into these manuals here and found the SAR value of the device. If you want to learn about radiation, the SAR value is 0.994 watts per kilogram for the head, 0.997 watts per kilogram for the body. And in the European Union, the phone makers are required to keep things below 2 watts per kilogram to keep things safe. Okay, so design-wise, it has a frosted look, and the hues that we're getting here are called Titan Gray, Titan Blue, and Titan Black. The frame is aluminum alloy, it's not titanium in spite of the naming, and the power button has a, well, pattern here to make it easier to find. The camera module is now square and pretty flush with the surface, it doesn't protrude very much. We don't have a telephoto camera, that's probably why. Or better said, we don't have a periscope camera, we do have a telephoto camera. The thickness is 8.39 millimeters, it weighs 209 grams, a few grams more than the predecessor. It's actually a bit slimmer than the Xiaomi 13T Pro. It's got IP68 certification, it can take some dust and water. And it doesn't draw fingerprints, the backside doesn't. It's quite wide and not very easy to use with a single hand if you got smaller hands. Now, we're done with the with the design. I think it's time to address the display, since I actually mentioned it before. So 6.67 inches in diagonal, and we're supposed to get a 93.3 screen to body ratio, which should mean we have very narrow bezels. It's a 12-bit panel, this one, 12-bit of color depth, 1.5K resolution, 4000 nits of brightness, and a special PWM dimming, 3840 Hz PWM dimming. A lot of other gimmicks for the screen, HDR10+, there's Dolby Vision as well, and a special TUV protection against blue light and protection for your circadian rhythm as well. Now, when it comes to the processor inside the handset, we're treated to something which I haven't seen before. I've seen relatives of the MediaTek 9000 series, but this one is the MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus. 4 nanometer octa-core, an Immortalis G720 MC12 GPU. The processor is also available on the Vivo X100 Pro and the Redmi K70 Ultra. Now, when it comes to the RAM quantity, you can see it here. We're actually dealing with 12 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM, and I'm actually surprised to see we have 1 terabyte of UFS 4.0 storage. Keep in mind that the Google Pixel 9 phones only have UFS 3.1. The battery is a 5000 mAh unit. Next year, you're going to see a lot of phones with 5500, 6000, so that will be the trend. You're supposed to get 1600 battery life cycles, 120 watts wired charging, and 50 watts wireless charging. The phone should be juiced up in just 19 minutes from 0 to full, and in about 30 minutes or so wirelessly. We got stereo speakers, one's at the bottom, and the other one is probably the earpiece, since we don't have any extra holes here. There is no audio jack, of course, and the fingerprint scanner is of the optical variety, and it's embedded in the screen, here around this area. Now, aside from that, on the connectivity front, we're getting infrared, thanks to this emitter here, We have a dual SIM setup. There's also Wi-Fi 7, and aside from that, there's obviously 5G, NFC, Bluetooth 5.4, and GPS, GLONASS, and the works for orientation needs. Now the selfie camera, I would say, is typical for Xiaomi. It's a 32 megapixel shooter with f2.0 aperture, while the backside hosts, well, Leica optics. There is a dual LED dual tone flash. Actually, it could be a quad LED here. We have a main 50 megapixel camera with f1.6 aperture and a special Light Fusion 900 sensor. I'm curious to see who makes it. Could be Sony, could be Samsung, could be OmniVision. It's got 2.4 micron pixels and combines 4 pixels in one. And it has Leica optics. Actually, we have Leica Vario Sumilax optics here. Okay, so there is the telephoto camera as well with 2x optical zoom. It's a 50 megapixel one, and it has f2.2 aperture. Finally, the ultra wide camera is a 12 megapixel affair, and it has f2.2 aperture as well. Now, the Leica technologies here include well, new photo styles and new photo filters and watermarks, and a special Leica portrait and a special Leica shutter sound. But let's see the camera interface. So I mentioned AI before. AI is present here in something called AISP. There's a Fusion LM, there's also a Color LM, Tone LM, and Portrait LM. So yeah, that's a special AI feature which tunes everything you're taking. We have Ultra HDR, Master Portrait, we have a special movie mode, Master Camera, Director mode, so it's borrowing things from the main Xiaomi's, the Xiaomi 14s and 13s. Okay, so let's get straight to the options. We have the more section with your short video, dual video, and director mode. Director mode goes like this. There are a lot of tweaks here happening, and a special aspect ratio for your needs. There is a log mode, exposure verification, focus peaking, and more. We also have this option here, which takes us back to the basic mode. We have a 50 megapixel mode, slow motion, long exposure. Let's see what else. Night mode, panorama, and time lapse. You can take photos of documents. You have your portrait needs here, including a special Leica style portrait, which lets you select the focal length, 23 millimeters, 35, 60, or 75 even. Okay. And you can, so Leica can be master style or Leica portrait depending on your needs. This is the photo section. I'm still trying to figure out which level of optical zoom we have here. I don't have the specs exactly for that. I suppose it's 2x, but it may well be 2.6x or even 3. Definitely not 5. This is the video section. You can shoot up to, let's see, 4K. I think you can even shoot 8K, but not very sure about that. Yes, 8K is available as well. We have motion tracking focus, we have a teleprompter feature, and we have two modes for stabilization, steady pro and regular steady video. Then we have the movie mode here with a special master cinema, which creates a special, I would say, effect. You can even trigger some bokeh for your needs, blur, regular or wide blur. Definitely a lot of control over this. Now that aspect is something like 2.39 to 1. Something like that to make things more cinematic. Then there's the Pro mode, which applies for photo or video. You can tweak exposure, ISO, shutter, focus, and white balance, and even more tweaks are available here. So yeah, you can do quite a lot. I was actually surprised, pleasantly surprised to see here that we have, where it is, okay, so we have this log feature, which was reserved for Honor phones for a while now. The color profile here to play with. So yeah, that's nice, all in all. So these are all the camera options you get to play with. With the Master Cinema, you can do 10-bit Rec 2020 videos with improved colors. And well, those are all the features you need to know. Now, we don't have the exact number of Android updates the phone is going to get, but its predecessor, the 13T Pro, got 4 Android updates. My guess is that they haven't decreased that number, otherwise people will be pretty mad at them. So yeah, probably 4 Android updates as well. So as far as the AI is concerned, we're supposed to have Circle to search here, but this is a pre-release model, so the software update should bring everything AI related from September 26th. Aside from that, the experience is pretty typical. We have here the HyperOS with the beautiful looking widgets, finally changed from MIUI. They look a bit like iOS with those white backgrounds and clean approach. You already know the quick settings area and the notifications area. So the AI remains the core novelty. We have AI notes. We also have the ability to transcribe things from vocal recordings and make summaries with AI. We have AI image edit, AI portrait, AI film, and Gemini is installed here. You can see it, but sadly, once again, till September 26th, it won't work. So I'm looking forward for its activation. This is HyperOS 1.0.5 applied on top of Android 14. It seems to work pretty well, but I'm curious about the whole AI thing. So that's it from us. It's a fall flagship. It's an in-betweener, as they say. Interestingly enough, it should coincide with the launch of the Xiaomi 15, which is coming in October with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 4. That will be pricier and available in multiple versions. This one, it should be cheaper for the European market, sort of a high mid-ranger, even though some of the specs are flagship worthy. That's it from us. Goodbye. I would say a high mid-ranger for the right price could be a sleeper hit, particularly as the months pass. Goodbye.